Hello, some buddies. You're here. Cool. But full transparency. Maybe next time you guys somebody give me a heads up because I didn't get to put pants on. But so is life. So I'm just gonna grin and bear, not having this draft down here. And actually, it feels kind of nice, quite frankly, if I'm gonna be honest. I am Mr. Mafuchi, and even I don't know what that means. With me is my co host. All I can say is this man right here loves his TV teen dramas like Bridgerton. Here's Jay.
Hello.
We are the Marriage Pros, 20 plus years maneuvering through our nuptials and still alive to tell the tale. Again, it helps that there are no firearms in our houses, so that's just a pro tip for all you in the game. And don't ever say we never gave anything to you. On today's topic, it is first time Jay and I said I love you. Now ladies, make sure you heard that correctly. It's when we said it, not when the ladies said it, because I'm sure most of the time they just want to say it right away because they're so romantic, they want to fall in love. Again, marriage is not a fairy tale. So when does the relationship begin? When does it tend to get serious? Now, for us guys, after the chase, after sex, and after holding in all those farts that we have, of course, meeting the friends, meeting the family, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, and then making her exclusive, hopefully. So, many speculate that after a 6-month period, at some point, both of you say those 3 magic words. I want dessert? No, I love you. So I'm going to start it off with Jay, because you seem like a romantic, not hopeless, because you're a guy, you do have rationale. But can you recall the first time you said to wifey those 3 magic words, and to be real, when you meant it?
So I don't remember when I said I love you to my wife. I do know around the 6-month mark, that's when I kind of felt it. One of my cousins was asking me, "Do you love her yet?" I was like, "What do you mean?" So again, usually around the 6-month mark, you'll have those feelings. And at this point, we're still like reconnecting. We're still getting to know each other. And I can't remember if we decided to be exclusive or not at that point, but I know I felt it. Funny story. We went to the pier for one of our dates, right? I don't think it was just something to do. And we were sitting in the car, in the garage. I saw it in her eyes. I saw it. I saw that she loved me, right? So I'm just looking at her. I'm waiting for her to say something. And she had the disrespectful way of not saying anything to me. She didn't say not a word to me. So I was like, I know you feel it. I know you know that I know you know. But she didn't want to say anything. So I don't know if we had the conversation prior to me saying it or after, but I spoke to her before we did the taping, and she was like, the guy has to say it first. I was like, just because he says it first doesn't mean he means it, right? It's not like he can just be, depending on what kind of situation you guys have, it can mean anything.
Okay.
But in this case, she thought it would be more sincere if the guy said it first, not she's saying it first and I'm saying it back just to say it. So, but when I meant it, is when I said it. So it wasn't like I love you and then, oh, I'm just saying it to say it. It's actually I love you when I actually meant it. It was more of nervousness on my end. Cause I'm like, are you gonna say it back? Cause on shows when someone says it, it's either like thank you or there's an awkward pause. So when I said it, it was like, okay, she said it back and then it was good. It was fine. I was still nervous to say it, just like when I proposed. Like I knew she was gonna say yes, but she ended up running away from me. Type of thing like that. Fuchi, do you remember when you said it to your wife? And did you mean it when you first said it?
That's funny. The one thing I caught on to is that for some reason the little lady ran away from you after you said it. So we're going to talk about that later or at another topic. But the time that I remember saying it, and I had to confirm with my wife earlier because my memory is not as great as hers. She can remember a lot of things. I'll just remember things that work in my favor. But this one, I had an idea when I said it, and it was correct. And the funny thing is, earlier that day, we went to a restaurant to eat, and we were macking, scamming. For those modern people, that means kissing, making out. I think that's still the term. Whatever it is, I just learned the word bussin' the other day, and I thought that was some kind of bus. But nonetheless, yeah, we were just making out. And then there was a woman at the other table at a bar just saying, hey, 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 why don't you save room for Jesus? And I'm like, number one, I know Jesus very well, and he absolutely is okay with me doing this to her. All right, so there are no problems there. But later that night, we were just hot and heavy like it was dating. I think it was almost 3 month mark, right before we found out that I knocked her up. So it is legitimate that when I said it, it was for real because we didn't know about the baby yet. So we were just about to begin a certain process, and that's when I said it. Now, it's funny because out of context, after I said it, she said thank you. So it was funny when you said earlier that she had said thank you or something to that effect. But I am obligated to put it in context that when we started dating, I think the first or second week that we were dating, she already wanted to say those 3 words. But I let her know, you know what? No, don't say it yet. Let's not rush into it. So that's why when I said it, she said thank you, because now she could finally say it. So I think there's something to what you said, Jay, that women essentially they need men to say it because ultimately we're known to just say it to get what we want and then we leave. So I get that to a certain point, which by the way, I agree also that men are dogs. Absolutely. I have no doubt about it. If I wasn't a guy, I'd be disgusted. But since I am, Jay and I just try to put our best foot forward to represent the males over here. Though that's all we can do for now. So now, Jay, I'm going to ask one key question here, more so for the ladies, but guys, we need to actually focus on this one because this is important. Now, depending on who you ask, it's not a competition. I'll put that out there. But do you remember who said it first? And more importantly, did the other person say it back?
Yes, me, I had to say it first. There was no getting around that. So, like I said, when we went to the pier, I saw it in her eyes, and I'm waiting for her to say it to me. It's like I'm looking, I'm just staring. It's like having a conversation of venting and fixing stuff. Like I'm waiting there, I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for a response. I was like, are you going to say you love me? I can see it in your eyes. Like I've never seen her eyes look like that before.
Mm.
So after that, I don't know how much time after that, but after that, we went on another date, and I don't recall. I wrote stuff down 'cause I had like a journal when we were dating during that time. So I wrote a lot of stuff down. I don't remember half of what was going on since it was such a long time ago, but I know I said it first, and then she's probably thinking to herself, finally, you said it. Now I can say it back to you. So I was one who said it first. What about you? Did you have to say it first, or she's more of the fact of, okay, I'll say it, and then I'll see what he says, if he means it or not.
Well, I think like I touched upon earlier, she did want to say it, and I just said, shh, no, not yet. It's not allowed. It's too soon. We're going to rush into this. Now let's go have some coitus. But after the time passed, 2.5 months, and I finally felt it, then I said it. And like I said in context, she said thanks. But ultimately, she did say it back. So again, it is important for us to say it. Although, coincidentally, when I said it, it was to also continue the process we were already in. I mean, we were rearing up. But I think it was important to say it at that. It felt a little more meaningful. And that gets to another topic altogether, what that means when it comes to a certain situation. But yeah, when I said it, she finally said it. So again, us guys, it does mean more when we say it. we have to give the W to the ladies on this subject, so we'll give it to you ladies, but don't get too excited, alright? Because we're not going to always say that publicly.
The question I have for you,
Hmm.
when you said it, were you nervous to say it? And when when did you feel that you had the courage to say it and thinking she may not say it back, or you might get that silence or just a thank you like they do on TVs and like no acknowledgement of it at all later on down the line?
Well, on my end, this is one of the few times that it actually went well because, again, we were getting to do something. So when I said it, she shed a tear because she was just waiting to say it. Was I nervous? Kind of, because I have never said it in that manner and actually meant it like I did. I, this was all new to me, but it felt right. It felt nice, and I'm glad that I actually took my time. I didn't rush into it like she wanted to, and it all turned out for the best. And by the way, the session went quite well. If any of you are curious, but Jay, let's throw it back to you. Were you nervous? Were you feeling certain things that you never felt before when you were gonna say it?
I was nervous. I was more worried about her not saying anything or her running away like she happens to do when I do stuff for her. She runs away. Um, I didn't know what to expect. I never thought it would get to that point just because of things I've seen in relationships in my family. I just didn't think it would get that far.
Wow.
But yeah, I was nervous. I was nervous. I'm glad she said it back. But even though I knew she felt the same way, it's just more of that confirmation of okay, our feelings are aligned and we can move forward to the next step in part of the relationship.
Oh yeah.
So, Mafuchi, the way you feel about your wife currently, have you ever felt that way about anybody else you dated in the past?
For a woman, yeah. I That's a tough one. Because before my wife, I did feel feelings. But it wasn't like this. I could tell from the first time that we got together, it kind of felt like kismet. And how many guys actually say that? So you know I'm serious. That it was cool. I saw the twinkle in her eyes. She kept looking at me like a stalker, but in a loving way. So I didn't mind. So I kind of felt it too. I mean, when we first met, it was kind of like at first sight. I'm not gonna say that word yet because it was too soon. But yeah, we were vibing, and I just hanging out that whole time. I never felt that way before. It seemed like she was actually all about me and being together. So it was nice. It was a new good feeling. And I you know how it is at the beginning. You just want to be with them when it's worth it. And I'm sure, Jay, you throw it back to you. I mean, did you feel the same way when it came to the missus now? Did you have those kind of feelings prior to meeting the wifey?
When it came to my wife, the feelings I have now are stronger than it was in the beginning. I think just over time and then getting to know each other, not just at the surface level, but on the marriage level, being a parent, stuff like that, all those different levels, it just takes it to another level for me. I can't speak for my wife, but after I'll say 7 year mark because a lot of people have that 7 year itch or whatever.
Oh,
After the 7 year itch, I was thinking, okay, do I feel the same way that I did in the beginning? And this is probably just me. When we were, I think, what, 3 years in, 4 years in, still felt like it was the honeymoon stage. And
mm-hmm.
usually that maybe lasts a year or so. I think that went on until like close to year 6. I'm like, I didn't feel any different. Like my feelings were the same. And then as we've gotten older and been through things, like it's just grown. And I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how to explain it properly, but it's like the feelings have never dipped. It's only gone up. So I haven't got to that point where like it plateaued or anything where it's like we're roommates now type of thing. It's like I still when I come home, I want to speak to her. I still lust after her, even though she always look at me like, "Why do you keep looking at me?" I was like, "You want me to look at you? Like, if I don't look at you, that's when we know we have a problem." But yeah.
That must be nice, Jay. Damn. He's got the fairy tale over there.
All right, my Fuchi. Do you still feel the same way about your wife after you said those words, "I love you"?
See, I jokingly I would say depending on the day. Today I do because she's making a bomb ass dinner, and we've had a generally a good day. But for the most part, in the overall, I mean the big picture, yes, I still feel that same way for her. I have a phrase that I say to her when we're not in the best of moods with one another. I always tell her, even when I don't like you, I love you. So I will say that to her because, look, in a marriage, it's okay. You don't have to like each other every day, but you have to love each other. And that's essentially what gets you through a day, a moment, whatever the case. And I think, like you, I think you mentioned it, that it has grown. Now it's a type of the in love situation. And, at this point, it better be it because that's what's carrying you through. But yeah, I still feel the same love. I enjoy being with my wife. And, I have to say that. But, yeah, I enjoy it. So definitely. But, Jay, it seems like talking to you, you're more so of a fairy tale. Do you still feel the same way as when you said those words? Do you still feel it now?
Yes, I do feel it now. It's more stronger than it was before, just because I didn't think it would feel this way. More so the fact just because of what I've seen in prior relationships, I didn't know what a healthy marriage looked like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of like, okay, I know what I want, I know what I don't want in a marriage. So what we have, it's good. It's like I don't think I can ask for a better partner than the one I have right now.
Right on. I mean, some people like to go for mail order brides, but otherwise, I think you're right. I think we are right where we need to be. So, Jay, we're going to get into a very serious question, but nonetheless, it must be answered. And I'm sure the ladies are going to love this question because I'm sure they pose it to themselves. They ask this at least once a week. Jay, officially, what do you say right now on the question? You've been with your partner for so long, wifey. Does love conquer all?
I'm gonna say it depends on the relationship,
Yeah.
because everyone's relationship is not healthy. I'm just gonna be straight up blunt about that. Everyone's relationship is not healthy. For us, I would say yes, just because we know what we want and we've already defined about how our relationship would go. It's like things that we want and what we don't want.
Hmm.
So we never had like a big blow up argument about anything. We only had like really like one really big discussion, argument, or disagreement. This was before we got married. This is when in the dating process where you want to kind of have those kind of conversations. Because when you're married, if you don't believe in divorce, you're stuck. So it's like find a way to work it out. So if you love each other, you can get through anything, but every relationship is not like that. Mafuchi, with you and your wife, do you feel love conquers all?
Again, I would say depending on the day. But after so many years, 10 plus years, 13, I'm trying to remember, 13 going on 14, or because there's a difference. 1 year from when we known each other to when we married, and love conquer all. Yes, I'll say yes, simply because there's been so many times where wifey and I have reached our breaking point, and we're on the cusp of changing our life. But at the end of it, and there was a celebrity that said something that stuck with me, and the singer Pink, because she's had her issues with her man, and she's ultimately said, uh, until both of us, both people don't want to try, that's when it's over. But if one person wants to try, then you have to just put it out there. And if the other person agrees that at the end of the day, it's going to be a tougher loss not to be with that person because you really do love them, regardless of what's getting in the way, then yeah, love is going to conquer all because it's right there. That's what keeps bringing you back because you two have been through so much. I mean, how could you not continue to make the effort for one another? I mean, I'm sure there's so many things that we do for each other that just continually, it's love, it's love, it's love. And I'm sure all the guys that are listening are kind of nervous that a guy's saying the L word so many times, but it's okay, guys. This is the right time to say it. Yes, for me, and as Jay said it, love does conquer all, and I think it's because we have the right partners with us. All right, so once again, with that said, I think we took care of that topic, Jay, and hopefully all the somebodies out there that are listening, that are watching us, just take a tip here and there. And again, if you have different opinions of what we're saying, by all means, hey, put it in the comments. We'd love to hear it. Not to mention, once you're in the comments, if you have other topics you want us to touch upon, hey, we'll talk about anything. Try to keep it to relationships, okay? We don't need to know about a remedy for your foot fungus or what kind of a clip to put if you're going to shave down there. We're not going to answer that, okay? That's a different situation. But for now, just keep it at the topics. Just say whatever. Hey, say what's up. Say hi. Now, if you don't get us on YouTube or you can only hear audibly, by all means, also go to Spotify. You can listen to us there and hopefully just have some good speakers because I've heard on different speakers that don't sound so good. We don't sound great. We sound decent, Jay more so, but we do sound nice. So Jay, now that we spoke on this, again, you're a very knowledgeable guy. What kind of wisdom do you have for all these somebody's just looking out there in their relationships? Maybe they're going through a situation now, but love is there. What kind of words do you have for them?
Well, for this particular wisdom segment of the episode, I would say know who you're with. In my case, I knew she loved me, so therefore it gave me a little bit of a more comfortability to say I love you first. But I would say if you feel it, go ahead and express it. Go ahead and show it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't do it too early, but just fill out that process. And usually a woman, they'll give you the sign that they're ready. Men don't just say it just to say it so you can get in the person's pants. Don't do that, please. Women, usually they'll give the signs. We just need to be able to comprehend and actually pay attention to the signs because we're not good at that.
No, we are not, fellas. I'm going to echo some of that. We need to do our part to really read the woman. I mean, we have to think with the North Head sometimes when it comes to that. And all the guys know what I'm talking about. Ladies, it's true, okay? The South Head, for the most part, thanks for us at the beginning. We try our best to bring it back up here. But yeah, ultimately, know what partner you're with. Don't say it too early. You could be like me. You could tell wifey, no, don't say it yet. That's probably the only time I ever had a say in the relationship, and she actually listened. So it was nice. But yeah, just take some time. Don't rush into it. And again, like Jay said, don't say it just to get what you want, and then you're not going to be with her, because that does hurt. Because you got to think about, if women were like guys and they did that to us, I mean, I know we're going to think, hey, we got used. That's nice. No, after a certain point, we're just going to think, man, she just wants us for our action and then leave us. Are we not worth it? It's going to happen, guys, okay? At a certain point, scientifically, all of us are born for a while as women until that X chromosome hits us. So we do have those feelings. Guys, we're not all hard asses, okay? You just got to think it through and realize, again, say it when you're ready, but also, like Jay said, we have to read the women. We just have to, okay? Because that's very important, and that also lets them know that they actually matter to us a lot more because we're reading them, and hey, maybe 50% of the time, they'll give you what you want anyway, if you know what I'm saying. So, that's it for the Marriage Pros. Again, Jay looking excellent with his shirt and tie. I'm wondering how many ties he actually owns, and if you guys want to, if you somebody want to take a guess as to how many ties he has, put it in a comment. But for Jay and I, we will see you next time.
Later.